G'day everyone and welcome to End of the Reel. This week we are doing a special film about ninjas. It's Nine Deaths of the Ninja. I'm your host Jared Kane and with me is my co-host Ethan Kane.
Yeah, hi.
Yeah,
Is this the first ninja movie we've done?
I I believe so. Which is interesting because we have an upbringing where we watched a lot of
Martial arts film.
martial arts
Well, we
films.
watched a lot of good martial arts films, so
We
there actually weren't that many ninjas.
yes. Yeah, not really ninja one. Oh, I can think of a few actually. They're all weird. Actually, we should do those movies.
What ones?
Oh, it's like the monkey ninja or the black ninja or something. I think it's called the one-handed ninja.
The one-handed
It's
ninja.
something really weird.
I don't remember that at all.
We have it,
Okay.
and it always involves like a daughter and other stuff. It's weird. Anyway, well let's talk about the Nine Deaths of the Ninja. So this is a film that's starring Sho Kosugi and
As Spike.
as Spike. He is apparently famous for his canon films, which he did previous to this, and they are all him being a ninja. So, continuing on that theme, he's a ninja. He's gone on one of his directors who did his other film. Except what people have said is that this film is far more camp, and I think that and I saw someone else reviewing it. They said he's going for more of a James Bond film and
Yeah.
feel, and that is exactly what we were saying as we were watching it too.
And one of the camp James Bonds. You
Yeah.
know, Jaws wouldn't be out of place in this.
It's
You know,
not
if he turned up and started trying to chew on him.
exactly. It's not necessarily bad that they go for this after doing like over the top blood films, but I find like it's hard to hit a good note like a good level of camp.
Yeah.
I don't
It
feel many
comes
would do
close
it.
to just being a bad comedy, by which I
Yeah.
mean boring.
Yeah,
But it avoids that and is just kind of a bad ninja movie, which is entertaining
it
mostly.
could. Yeah, I when I was talking to you about it, I was like, like it has all the right ingredients put in the wrong way and like stirred up the wrong way. That's what it really feels like. It's like they've got all the right ingredients to make it like a brilliant, like horrible but great bad movie, but it just doesn't quite come out right.
Yeah, and it's the comedy elements that let it down,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
the editing. I guess there's just a lot of empty space in between what are meant to be jokes,
Yeah.
and
Oh,
it took me a while to figure out that they were meant to be jokes.
yeah, we were very unsure if they were being camp or not at the start.
They're,
Also, dead actors, boy,
oh, apart from Joe Kasugi himself
and his kids.
and his kids.
Oh, and the
Eh,
bad people. Sorry.
Okay. Except for Sho Kasugi and his kids and the two main villains. Well, the three main villains. Everyone else is a plank, a wooden plank.
Horrible.
Especially his two American buddies.
Actually, the lead of the brothel place is pretty good.
She has like two lines.
Yep, and she does them well. That's all
Okay.
that matters. Quality over quantity.
Yeah,
So we'll get to it. This movie starts and we're just on a hill, and people are blowing up because these two dudes who are in like army suits walk up and they attack people, and then they start pressing buttons, smiling as
well, it
people
was
on the hill
confusing.
blow up.
It was confusing because I was like, have they already set explosives
Yeah.
here? Why are these terrorists standing around a sand dune?
Yeah, and
And
it didn't
it
look like
is-
they were getting hurt.
It's the most hilarious sort of over the top action explosion stuff. Like there'd be this tiny little puff of smoke, and these people would throw themselves around or slowly walk away from the explosion.
Yeah, and then of course we find out, oh, it's okay because this was actually all a setup to show this special extreme
Dart
team
group,
called
the
Dart.
Dart team.
So
Yeah,
so in that scene, by the way, we only see one dude doing like ninja star shit, throwing ninja shit, and this other dude with the gun shooting people, and then this guy
he's
flies in.
basically a cut price Rambo.
Oh yeah, and this guy then like the general dude, whatever, he flies in and he's like, yes, this is Team Dart. This guy's the Japanese ninja guy, and you're like, oh okay. This is the American guy, and you're like, oh okay. And then they say this is Daphne. She's the she's the head of
She
communication for
handles
them.
communication.
We didn't even know she was there.
Was she the worst actor in the movie?
She was the worst actor in the movie.
She constantly looks like she's falling asleep because I don't know if this is what was happening, but it looks like she's squinting down at the script to read off it
Yeah,
because she's always like looking down and squinting.
but she
No
can't be
matter
fucked.
what, no matter who she's talking to, she's looking down and squinting.
She did not want to be there. Like you can tell she's just like, oh, I'll say these lines, and then that's
I
it.
mentioned it a couple of times during the movie. I thought she and
The
the main
American?
American actor were at certain points either drunk or
Yeah.
on drugs because they slur their words
Yep.
and they don't seem to be, they're not with it. They're wobbling.
The
They're not
American dude in
acting
particular,
properly.
but maybe it's because we get more lines out of the American dude that we
Well,
see
he
him
is
more
meant
slurred.
to be. He's also meant to be like played for laughs.
Yep.
He's the useless character.
But I find it's a bit strange when your character's slurring his charming lines.
Yeah.
It's
And he's
very
so
concerning.
charming.
Very charming.
He is the charming character. What's his opening move? Oh, he walks up to women, smiles at them, and slips his hand down the front of their dress
Well, you know,
to cup their breasts.
maybe it's not 21st century dating anymore, but
Yeah. To women, he's barely
Fuck.
talked to.
oh,
Yeah.
he's he's the biggest stereotype of like an American action hero. Like I think they were playing it for a joke that they were like, we'll make him the most American action hero ever, and he doesn't do anything except for be a hostage and
Well,
and fuck people.
Kasugi Spike, who is the captain of the dart team, I think basically just uses him as bait.
There wasn't a team.
He actually sends him out, and people are attracted to attack this American guy.
Yeah, there wasn't really a team. It was more just Kasugi doing all the work and
Yeah.
the American guy
He's
kind
pretty
of
good
fucking.
at his ninja stuff.
Oh yeah, he's good. Yeah, actually, hats off to him. Give him some credit. He's really good. He's
Mm.
solid.
Yeah.
Which takes us into the best film. Probably there's like three good highlights in this film, but this is one of them. Is the intro bit. So straight away we get a bit of Kasugi half naked, oiled up with a samurai sword. Need I say more? Of course, there's about four female dancers who are all wearing, I don't know.
There's three women in leotards, and they're doing like interpretive dance in
Yep.
front of a smoke screen.
With the song.
In front of a smoke thing. And Kasugi's behind them, slowly slicing around with a samurai sword.
It's pretty good.
It is quite bizarre.
There's a song for it too, and I think the song's weird because it's just about saying hello all the time. It's like hello.
I wasn't paying attention to the song at all.
Yeah, it's not great, but that's one of the highlights of the film. That's where I was pumped. Like at this point, I'm fucking ready for
The
this
intro
film.
title crawl.
Oh yeah,
Did we have the same interest in the intro title call with
Hard
Hard
Rock
Ticket to Hawaii?
Yeah, we did.
Is that a theme with these bad movies that have surprisingly
Good intros.
interesting intro credit crawls?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll just have to see. Well, unfortunately, past that point, we kind of just get a really weird hostage situation. Oh, with Sho Kasugi's kids for no reason at all.
Yeah. His two kids are taken hostage.
Yeah.
Along with a bus full of American ambassadors and senators who are visiting the Philippines.
Thanks for. I was just gonna say we really need to point out for some reason we're in the Philippines.
Well, it kind of makes sense because I think
Americans.
DART team is some sort of international anti-drug terrorist group.
What? Wait,
Anti-terrorist
drugs?
group.
Oh yeah,
Well,
terrorists.
drugs come into it.
Are there drugs in it? Oh no, there are drugs in this film.
Well, that's why we should introduce the two main villains, who are probably the best thing in the movie.
yeah.
The main villain is, I can't remember his name at all. Oh, it's like Albus the
Mad.
Indestructible or the Inscrutable or something. How would you describe him? He's a wheelchair-bound Nazi crazy scientist guy, sort
Yeah.
of Dr. Strangelove if he was chewing the scenery and just going crazy
Yeah.
on drugs the whole time. He's
A-
pretty fantastic.
And the thing is too, he's the person they're trying to get out of jail is the third bad guy or whatever. And from what I saw, he seems to be that guy's love. Or I'm not even.
I didn't pick up on
that if
the-
it was a
that they were lovers.
look.
You went on about that. a fair
Even if
bit.
it's because that one scene when he gets back that guy, he starts slapping him on the chest and then the groin, saying "My gorgeous hunk is back."
Yeah.
So.
So the wheelchair bound
But
guy.
but you know what? He could just be crazy. So it might not be a love thing. He could just be that crazy.
He is crazy and over the top.
Yeah.
And his second in command is
Honey Hump.
Colonel Honey Hump.
Yes.
No, Colonel Honey Hump. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's where you get the real James Bondy sort of vibes.
And just like our last film, we have a cool, evil female character who isn't used.
Colonel Honey Hump?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or her
Oh no,
women.
she's used a fair bit. If anything, the bad guys are used too much.
No, she,
Like, they're-
I'm
they're-
saying she doesn't even get a scene of fighting. She gets scenes where she talks and says she's going to do stuff and she
Oh,
has
yeah,
her
yeah.
women. But literally, they just get caught in a net at the end and don't do anything. What's the point of having this
Well, I didn't really think
banshee
they
group
were-
of like chicks who are meant to be like evil?
They
they're
were like
crazy.
lesbian Amazon sort
Yeah,
of warriors.
that's what that they were literally meant to be lesbian Amazons or whatever it is. And in the end, it's just like net. It's like just go with it, have
We're
fun.
skipping straight to the end, Jared.
Yeah, but I just found it so sad when they just got literally a net got thrown over them.
Colonel Honey Hump and the guy in the wheelchair are definitely the best parts of the movie, in my
Oh, yeah.
opinion. Unfortunately, they realized that and they use them too much. Like there'll be minutes on end of them chewing up the scenery and then sort of looking around, going, "What now?"
Oh, he has a monkey for like half the film, and
Did
then it
actually-
disappears.
Was the monkey actually like trying to kill him at one point?
Yes.
Like, at one point, it looks like the monkey has gotten, because it's tied to the wheelchair by like a chain,
Yep.
and it's managed to wrap itself around his neck. And one of the female actors, actually looking pretty concerned, comes up and like actually starts to undo it
Yeah.
as he's like strangling himself.
He was gonna be killed by a small monkey.
I think, yeah, I don't think they were meaning to do that.
You can't trust monkeys. You got to look at those things.
Animals
man.
and kids
No.
you shouldn't work with, and that's
Wheelchair people.
a lot of animals and kids in this movie.
Exactly. It was just a recipe for disaster. Whatever happened to that monkey? It just went away in the end.
The monkey just disappears.
Because I think they complain about the monkey, but I'm not sure if it's the movie or the actors just impromptu saying,
Get
"Fucking
this monkey out of here.
get out here." Yeah, monkeys always seem cool, but then I always hear the stories about monkeys and I just say, nah.
Well, you've
Not
seen
for
Monkey
me.
Shines, Jared.
Not from Monkey Shines. That's a bad movie. Oh, that
that's
one.
a
No,
great
that's a good
movie.
movie.
What are you talking
I thought you
about?
meant Monkey Boner or whatever that movie's called.
No.
That's a terrible one. That has that dude from the
Mummy?
The Mummy. Yeah,
Brendan
Brendan
Fraser?
Fraser. Boy, monkey. Oof. Anyway, so what happens is some people on a bus get taken hostage. We then find out one of them is like a diplomat or something.
Well,
like
there
that.
are a bunch of American diplomats and stuff.
Yeah.
It's the weirdest hostage taking I think I've seen. I mean, I've seen bad guys put on elaborate hostage taking scenarios, but they throw a wedding that happens to be going on as the bus goes past. But it's not just the bad guys in a wedding party. They've managed to get like villages of people to come out and celebrate.
Yeah.
Because as they're coming out to grab the hostages, most of the crowd celebrating the wedding are freaking out. Like they obviously don't know what's happening. So they've put on this giant wedding and managed to invite hundreds of people to kidnap what I thought was an impromptu sort of bus trip. Like, how planned was that thing? I don't know.
Well, the plans in this movie, man.
Yeah, I wasn't too sure what the bad guys were actually doing. They take hostages, and their demands are
To let that guy in the prison free. That made sense.
that made sense, but that's their first demand. Their first demand is for that guy to go free, but their second demand they make at the same time is for all the DEA agents in the Philippines to leave.
Right.
They bring that up and they make a big point out of it a few times, and then they just seem to forget about it.
I don't know.
They don't seem to have much of a plan beyond taking the hostages and freeing their friend.
Well, you'd think that the freeing the friend thing is gonna be like in a normal film. That's gonna be so you're gonna get the Dart team in. The Dart team come in. That's cool. What should happen is they try and do stuff, and then it doesn't work. So that guy goes free, and then they have to like get that guy and the team. But it's like in this film, it sort of happens, but it happens so fast. They just like let the guy free, like really quick.
Oh yeah, they fold so easily.
I think the Dart team come in, meet up with the dude, get told the problem, and then then they go to the art gallery, which is awesome. Is there something I missed?
so
Does he become the old man before he goes to the
What are
art
you talking
gallery?
about? No, that
can't
happens
remember when that
much later.
happens.
You're way out of order.
Really?
But
Oh.
yeah, they arrive and they find out. I can't remember how they find out that he's connected to the art gallery in some way, the wheelchair guy. I think that's how he smuggles drugs.
Yeah.
And this is where you find out how the DART team, how their investigative procedure goes. Because they don't do any investigating. They turn up to where they're sort of sure bad guys will be. And Shoji basically just throws the American out there.
Yeah, as a
He has
bait.
the American
He's a
guy,
honeypot.
yeah, the American guy has a very sex touristy vibe, and he
Very.
immediately like starts hitting on people or doing weird stuff, and the bad guys just sort of like instantly gravitate towards him.
If I saw that guy, I just want to beat him up too.
You instantly know he's like an undercover cop sort of character.
Oh yeah, he sticks out.
Anyway, and then once the bad guys start attacking, that's when Spike actually starts like just comes in and takes them all out.
Yeah, but this is when you get something. This film did something that kind of annoys me, where they have the same goons attacking them like 5 times. So, and this is the first time you meet those goons. It's just this dude. They just go to the art gallery, and there's a dude who's just taking shots of them with a camera, and then that guy runs away, and they try and chase him, but he hides behind a door, and then he laughs with this tall white guy.
Yeah.
And you're like, what? What? I don't understand what's going on.
And he will return, I think he returns like
Oh.
4 or 5 times throughout the movie because they can't defeat the bad guys and actually seem to capture them. Like, there don't seem to be any other police in this movie. They'll
Ugh.
beat the bad guys up, shoot them and stuff, and then just walk away. Like that was the end for them. They beat the bad guys up and then just walk away. And of course, in the next scene, the bad guys are back.
Well, actually, we do get the best scene in the movie now.
Yeah.
Mary and her 5 Muppets, whatever. Okay, so this random chick comes out. I don't think she even has a line.
This is where the weird comedy stuff should have been funny, but it isn't.
You're inside an art gallery. Your phone's been taken. You're like, damn you. And out of nowhere, this woman comes up, pulls out a knife, tries to stab the ninja guy, but the ninja guy's like, ha, and just easily blocks and deflects. And then behind her are 5 dwarves, 5 dwarf actors, and they're all dressed up in suits with sunglasses.
Yeah.
And they're all jumping side to side going,
So they're sort of doing weird little kung fu moves.
Yeah. And so he easily beats the girl and pushes her away, laughing.
Yeah.
And then they kind of come in and they just grab him around the leg and everything, and they just keep going,
It's a really weird little fight.
It really is.
Because it looks like he's trying to fight them, but he's trying really hard not to actually hurt them.
Yeah, and at the same I don't know. I feel like that's such a hard joke to pull off because it's like,
yeah,
it clearly
it reminded
is
me
like,
a lot. Like Austin Powers does it well when he fights Mini-Me.
Oh
He's
my
picking
God,
up
right.
and he's throwing him around and he makes a huge thing out of it. In this, they come up and they tackle him and he sort of gently tries to look like he's hitting them really hard.
you know
but
what
without
the thing is?
actually
No, but then
touching it.
he does that thing where he spins one around and he just keeps spinning around and then pushes it, and it's not funny. That, thank you for pointing out Austin Powers, because I was trying to think of an example where it's like done right, and that's one where it's like, I think you have to play it straight, like you have to play it that they
Over
are
the
a
top,
threat,
but
like
completely over the
like
top.
we know they're not,
The fight only goes on for a couple of seconds.
Yeah.
He just sort of pushes them away, and that's it.
But that's one of those awkward things where it's like, oh, we're gonna have 5 dwarves fighting him. It's like, we know, like, that's straight up. That's kind of like, oh, that's a bit of an awkward joke you're doing there. But it's like, play it so it's over the top, like Austin Powers, where it's like, no, this thing's a threat. That's the funny thing, because he's not a threat, but it is a threat in this movie.
Well, this is followed by...
But in these movies, they're just like, ha ha ha, he's small. It's
Yeah.
like, no, don't do that. Don't do that.
But this is followed by a weird death scene that I think confused me more than you. Like
I
couldn't stop thinking
I
about
still don't know why it happened.
it.
I don't know who. I don't get it.
They corner the tall white guy up on the, not even the second floor, but up like half a flight of steps.
Yeah.
He jumps off, lands feet first, and just seems to. I don't know how he dies.
Somehow
Because he
hits his
falls
head.
maybe a meter.
Yeah.
And apparently the impact must have forced all the blood up out of his body because he like sprays blood for a bit
Yeah.
and is completely dead.
Well, white guys can't jump. So I don't know. I don't know
They
what the
can't
deal was.
land properly, that's for sure.
He just dies, and I think they come down and they say something really weird. I cannot remember it. That they were like, "Huh, that's one way to get away," or something like that. And
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not sure. That he just because they said like, oh, he killed
Well,
himself.
they go, oh, well, I guess the end bit for this is that, oh, they've got no one left to interrogate.
Yeah,
But only because they've let everyone go. They don't
It's-
seem to actually try to capture anybody to interrogate. They just fight them and just sort of let them go.
well,
And
now
that's why they keep turning up again and again.
I do think.
If the white,
Yeah,
if
no,
the
go on.
American guy just used his gun to shoot someone,
Yeah,
it would be much more efficient.
what was the American guy doing in this scene?
He's
Yeah,
off
we
in the
just-
background doing something.
Because
I
Kasugi's
think
doing all that fight.
I think he watches him fight the dwarves and he's sort of like laughing.
It's awkward.
Yeah.
Okay, so there is another scene where we get the dart team hanging out by the pool. This is a very common
Oh, this
theme.
is this is like an early montage where
Yeah.
you see him training.
Well, they're just all hanging out the film because apparently what all super international anti-terrorist groups do is they all hang around by pools or by the boat waiting to be
First-class
called.
hotels.
Oh, first class, normally with like tanned up as fuck.
Yeah.
And maybe they might be doing what Kasugi's doing, and he is just chopping watermelons because fuck watermelons. Fuck kittens too, by the way, because let's put some danger to it. Not only is he going to chop down onto a watermelon,
while
but
he's blindfolded.
oh yeah, while he's blindfolded, but next to it's going to be a kitten. So why, dude? Why endanger a kitten? I don't care. You're training.
Jared,
What do you get from this?
you've got to have stakes. There've got to be stakes to training, or else what's the point? But in that training scene, but he has a flashback in a training scene to him training at another point.
Yes.
And the flashback goes for like a good 10 minutes. I thought
Yes.
it was actually just the training scene, like he'd montage to another spot.
It's a random 10-minute scene of his ninja boss guy saying
Yeah.
the other tribes like he's like, "Oh, your training's good. Time to put it to the test. The other tribe or whatever is coming of ninjas." And then he just goes out and absolutely slaughters them, except that he does step in every single one of their traps.
Oh yeah, he has throughout the movie, he constantly falls into traps. Do you think that's where he learnt his investigative techniques? Because
To fall into the traps.
he deliberately falls into traps to capture people.
Yeah,
That's his whole modus operandi.
I guess it works.
Yeah, it works for him, I guess. Yeah.
So yeah, no, yeah, I just don't know. So that scene flies by, and yeah, so we're back, and I think we're talking to who is it they talk to? The security of the Philippines. Who's that guy?
I couldn't tell. I think maybe he's meant to be an American DEA agent,
Okay,
or who's in charge of the police and the whole rescue thing. We get a few scenes with the hostages in the camp, and it's a weird mix of really dark and them trying to do some kid comedy.
with rape.
Yeah, with what's the show with Macaulay Culkin?
Yeah, Home Alone,
Yeah, they get into some weird Home Alone stuff. So
which is weird because I think it's before Home Alone.
one of the hostage takers is this
Rapist. He's a well-known rapist or something.
wasn't he a cannibal as well or something?
Oh,
Anyway,
they just throw it out there.
He sneaks into the bus at night,
Yeah.
while the other hostage takers are on guard, and he picks one of the attractive women, puts duct tape over her mouth, and starts like stripping, do his stuff.
Yeah.
And while he's doing that, Shoji's two kids, who are for some reason with the rest of the hostages, take some petrol from one of the sleeping hostages, go up behind him, squirt him, and set him on fire.
Yep.
And he runs out while all the hostages laugh.
I'm still so lost with this, and I'll say it again. Why is it so many films think, hey, let's throw in a campy joke about rape? It's always rape. It's always rape, and they go, now we're gonna do the kid joke about them. It's like, fucking hell. It's so dark every time.
He's the funny rapist gets his ass burnt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So from there, we kind of have this weird scene where I guess our main actor Spike dresses up as an old dude to catch them, and this is when they first use the American as a honeypot.
Well, he uses him a bit in the museum. So what happens is the the guy in the wheelchair, the evil guy in the wheelchair, finds out that the Dart team are there.
Yeah.
So he wants to take him out, and Shoji sends the American guy out to do his sort of weird sex touristy stuff.
Yeah.
So he's picked up, I think, this secretary he's met, and is taking her out to a restaurant where they quickly and the two of them, the secretary and the American guy, quickly realize that they're being surrounded by the exact same bad guys we saw in the previous couple of scenes.
Yeah, that started getting annoying.
Yeah.
That got old real fast. There's not.
This is the problem I had. Is like, are there no other police or anyone else in this film?
Nope,
to
not in the
stop bad
Philippines,
guys?
apparently.
Because they're in public, right? They're at a public restaurant in the middle of what seems to be a pretty busy park, with the police chief guy with them, and they just get attacked by thugs who aren't armed or anything. I think they're just there to bother them.
And the thing is, too, Spike's just dressed up as an old dude with a cane, and
Yeah.
then he does this old dude. Like, I think it was meant to be funny.
Comes out as this old guy, and it's sort of a staple of a lot of martial arts films
yeah.
where it's like, oh, I was thinking, oh, it's going to turn out there's like this old master or something, but no, it's just Shoji. And he does this really bad old man sort of act where he's like leaning down in his cane, and he's got this crappy wig on, and he's like walking around really hunched and stuff, which didn't make sense.
He kept in character, too.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. He comes in
After.
where they've lured them in, beats them up, and then sort of runs away as the old man. So he's like hunched over, like walking away, and more of the bad guys attack. And this is the point where I'm like, are they gonna capture these people to interrogate them or anything?
Nope.
No, he just beats them up and then runs away.
So that's one of the problems with this film, and it's a staple of other films where they could be great, but see scenes like these, they're boring, and nothing really happens.
Because nothing's happening.
Exactly.
Like, there's no. I mean, I thought they were trying to capture these people to interrogate them, but they just lure them there, beat them, and then run away.
It's a nothing scene which doesn't apply to anything. It doesn't matter.
It's an okay fight scene.
Yeah, but that's one where you see, okay, the American only fought one of them, and he's like, haha, I did a great job.
But,
and Soji just smiles at him like, yes, you did, my dumb American friend.
Yeah, after he beats them up and they run off, he takes the wig off like it's a big reveal.
Yeah.
And I was just like, why lure them there if you're not going to... But yeah, I'm going to keep harping on about that because it's irritating.
Well, now we get a scene. I think they're back at the whatever place office, and our Daphne chick turns around and goes, while you guys were doing whatever last night, I was doing work, and I found out where they are. And she looks so just out of it. And then the other dude's like, oh yeah, we've let the prisoner go.
Yeah. So they just sort of let the bad guy go.
And this is a huge flaw to me.
Which is really weird. They just released the mass killer they've
Into
got
the
locked
street.
up. There's no like driving him somewhere so the bad guys can pick him up as some sort of hostage exchange. They just let him out onto the street. So immediately he gets into a taxi, drives away, kills the taxi driver who's
Straight
just
away.
an innocent bystander.
Poor taxi driver.
And this is where we
He
find
had a
out
family and everything.
they were using now the taxi driver as bait because now Shoji's following him.
So this is what annoyed me. Okay, what happens from this point on? It makes it sound as if like Soji had this plan,
like
that,
they knew what they were going to do.
but the plan involved them not knowing what the plan involved. That guy getting loose anyway, right?
Well, it
But
involved
it's
them,
like, but they didn't know how.
That's the thing. They had to be like 4 steps ahead of a plan. They had no idea what was going to happen.
But somehow they perfectly orchestrate.
Yeah.
It makes no sense because now you've got, so Soji follows him and gets lost in a brothel. Oh, also the bad guy, he's really evil. He laughs a lot and pops children's balloons.
Is that his only line? Can you do his laugh?
Ha ha ha. No, I don't want to do
He just
ha,
does the same laugh every time. He just starts scratching his
What is
stomach.
it? It's that weird laugh.
Yeah.
It's like that weird laugh from like dubbed films.
Oh, and an important plot point is the brothel is like Woe Wee's House of Pleasure.
Yeah.
That's important because he talks to the brothel owner there and beats up some guards who come out to attack him. And then he somehow manages to catch up to the bad guy just as he's getting into a helicopter with him.
Well, actually, wait, doesn't he lose
captured.
him?
He gets Shoji gets captured and gets put into the helicopter with the bad guy.
No, but he loses him first. He loses him first, and that's when the American guy then is like finds him, but then loses him also. But the plan was for the American guy to actually like they were meant to make it look like the American guy found him, but then the American guy was meant to lose him on purpose so that Shoji could get ahead and then catch him again.
Yeah.
That's the shit that doesn't make any
So
sense.
Shoji gets into a helicopter guy with the main bad guy. He takes out one of the goons,
Yeah.
and then shoots the bad guy, the evil laughing guy, who captures the bullet in his hand. He doesn't dodge it or anything. Like, he is bulletproof.
Yeah.
He catches the bullet.
And then Shoji's like, "Oh boy," and then just gets thrown out of the helicopter. Oh, he's on the side.
No, he throws the bad guy out.
He gets thrown out to begin with.
Oh, well, okay. Yeah, he sort of gets thrown out of the helicopter and he's hanging on by the side, but then he throws the bad guy off.
Yeah.
Which is all sort of the end of him till the end of the movie. He pops up right towards the end. He is actually a lot like Jaws.
Is he?
It-
Oh yeah,
except
does he get
stupid.
thrown out of a helicopter? I think he does.
Well, it's
I
that
can't
sort
remember.
of thing where he's just a big, strong guy who doesn't talk.
It doesn't do anything though.
Yeah. Anyway, he interrogates the pilot, and he finds out that they were meant to go to
The Horboat.
the Horboat.
I think
which
that's what it's
is-
called, right?
No, it's Wee Woo's Horboat, which is run by the sister of the same of
Twin.
the brothel owner.
Okay. Is
Yeah.
it called Wee Woo's Horboat? Or Pleasure Boat? Pleasure Boat. Sorry,
Yeah,
that sounds
yeah.
a bit better.
So there's two sisters, Wee
That's the
Woo
meaning.
and Wo Wee,
Yeah.
in this film, both played by the exact same woman.
Yes. She's
And
actually pretty good.
It's just such a weird thing because no one mentions it or talks about it, but it's just a big plot point.
She has like barely any screen time, but probably is one of the most charismatic characters.
She's one of the few actors in the film.
Is she?
Well, she seems to be acting, so I'm guessing, yeah.
Well, they get up to the island where they meet two women who greet them, and
Yeah,
that's
so they go to the Horboat.
no.
No. Well, they land on the island near it, and they're pretending to be.
We gotta stop calling it the Horboat.
They're pretending to be the bad guys. That's why.
Yes.
So the madam of the boat sends two of her women out to meet them.
Which they immediately capture them, tie them up to a tree. Okay, reasonable.
The two women, yeah.
Yep. And this is Shoji and the American guy. And at which point Shoji goes, "All right, I'm gonna go to the boat."
Why?
And
Why did he go to the boat? He knew that's where the bad guys were going, but he knows that's also not where the hostages are, and that they're a different group.
You know,
why did he go?
there is
to the
actually no
pleasure
reason.
boat?
There's no reason to go to the
I
boat.
think they're just trying
oh wait,
to find
no,
more
he gets
people
some
to get
information.
out.
He gets some information out of like a bartender.
Yeah.
Remember, he threatens a bartender. I don't know why.
Anyway, well,
I think he has the
while
location
he swims
somehow.
out to the boat to interrogate them, the two women are left behind with the American guy,
Bad idea.
who immediately starts hitting on them real hard, and it just reminded me a lot of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Dennis's whole the implication thing, you've got two women tied up. They don't know you're cops.
At gunpoint.
Yeah, he's holding them at gunpoint and is hitting on them.
Yeah.
So of course they're like looking really worried and they start flirting back, and all I could hear was Dennis going, they're not going to say no because of the implication.
Yeah, because it's fucked, man. No, it's like not hot at all. He's like, "Oh, why don't you clean my pipes? Oh,
Yeah.
yuck. Vomit in my fucking mouth. No, do not." Like, I was just so baffled by him. His character had nothing funny. He was just like a sleazy
Sex
tourist guy.
Yeah.
Like, he was a stereotype of a sleazy sex tourist who was on purpose a honeypot.
but he
it's
was meant
so
to be the
weird.
cool guy.
Taking me back to Hard Rock in Hawaii, where we have the two hunks, right?
Right.
They served a great... There were two hunks surfing, chisel abs, kung fu. Awesome. This guy looks like he's on drugs. He doesn't know what he's doing. And he just says the most awkward, sleazy shit to women while trying to molest them.
Yeah.
That is not funny. It's fucking weird. It's
Anyway,
so weird.
so
Oh, also
Shoji-
because You know the weirdest thing too? I think Soji thinks that's hilarious, right?
Oh, he must, because he's like standing back laughing.
Yes, because he's sort of like he knows like that's where it's weird, where it's like not played off as that's the joke, that he's really creepy about it. It's like Soji thinks this is funny
Oh,
as fuck.
He's the funny American playboy.
Yeah, because he with that one in particular, it's one where like the guy's like, "Don't worry, Soji, leave these two to me." And Soji looks at him, smiles and laughs, and is like, "Ha, ha, okay, I'll go deal with the actual mission," and goes off. And it's like you can tell that's where it's really weird. You can tell Soji thought this was the funniest thing.
Mm.
It's so funny.
But Shoji does teach us one really cool ninja move as he's escaping from the boat.
And then Madame pulls out a giant M14 to
Yeah.
shoot at them, which is pretty sick.
He dives into the water to swim back to shore. Two of the prostitutes jump into the water with spear guns after him,
which
for
annoyed
some
me.
reason.
Actually, one second.
Because they're not bad guys.
That
really.
annoyed me so much. Just because, just hear me out. Just because you have the Amazon, I don't know what they are. The Colonel Honey Hump's group are female warriors, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or gangsters.
This
anyway.
is what really annoyed me. Her entire troop are female warriors, whatever they are. Have two of them or have some of them on the boat, right? And have them chase Soji, right? Use them. Why would two working class girls jump in to attack this guy? Why?
I have
Why
no
are they
idea.
doing that?
But-
It puts them in danger, and it's not their job. If you just use honey humps, man, it would have made sense.
Women.
What?
But,
You can't say that. It doesn't make sense. Where did they get the speed guns?
No, her
Put
women.
honey.
Her women.
Huh?
I mean her women. You're calling them men, but yeah. But
Oh,
Shoji,
yeah, but
Shoji
Put
uses
honey humps
the,
women in. That makes sense.
the
But
best.
they never get used. That's where you use them.
You
That
got
scene.
really thinking about that
Because
didn't
it didn't make. Why would you just be like, oh well, this is my job, and that's fine. That's their job.
Well, I mean,
but then
I
their
think-
job's
I
not to
think they
chase
were-
someone with guns.
I think they were like
Were they honey humps?
it was meant to be some sort of illegal operation. Like there were a lot of guns around on the boat for a pleasure boat.
So
But Shoji shows
I
us the
don't know.
best ninja way to incapacitate women underwater,
yes.
which is to swim past them and just pull off their sort of bras.
Yep.
The minute they're missing the top half of their swimsuit, they just float in water
Yeah.
and just sort of float down.
Because their breasts are like buoyant. See?
They can't. Well, it looked like it knocks them unconscious the minute, because that's his move. He swims past, grabs the back of their straps, and just rips their bras off.
Yeah.
And they just sort of stop trying to shoot him and just float away.
Yeah. This movie it's a feminist icon. This movie.
I don't know about that, but yeah.
So, moving forward. Then we have a really weird fight scene on the beach with him against some chick. It's completely.
I don't even remember
incidental.
it.
He just fights with this chick with
so
a knife.
He's found out that the bad guys are in the mountains.
Right. So we go to
Which
we
is-
go to get them.
I mean, did no one think that the bad guys were hiding in the mountains?
They knew that.
But
So we go to get them. The American guy Rambo's up with this giant gun. I think this is
Oh,
he's.
you've
What? Come on, really?
forgotten- Okay, so before they go up to get the hostages, which
Yeah.
they know where they are now,
Yep.
the whole DEA swap thing is being completely forgotten. They meet up with a group of Filipino soldiers that they're going to take up with them. In the middle of the army base, the communications woman Daphne
Oh.
is attacked by what remains of she's attacked by the same bad guys who have attacked them over and over again. In the middle of this army base, surrounded by soldiers, she gets it mugged by these guys armed with nothing but their hands. So of course she pulls out the glue gun,
Mm-hmm.
a giant spray glue gun contraption that locks him onto the floor that we've never seen before. And I think that's meant to be a big bit. Her squinting down at the floor going, glue gun, get out of this adhesive epoxy.
Oh, that's right. I think you need to be stronger to get out of that adhesive epoxy. And I was like, okay,
She finally, like,
did something.
and you know what? out of all of them, she's the only one who seemed to be able to capture this one guy who sort of yells at people.
Right?
It was just
So now we go into the mission. They are going into the hills. Not really much happens. It's kind of just a dumb scene they go through. He's shooting everywhere. They get into the caves.
the bad guys are freaking out. The bad guys do have a lot of really cool speeches where, especially Colonel Hollyhump's trying to rev up the guys. She's doing this whole, you gotta go out and kill everybody. Bring me back some pig heads. Bring me some pig heads.
Oh, yeah.
And was their whole plan that they were gonna, the army was eventually gonna figure out where they were?
Yeah, it was very
Was
confusing.
their plan to fight the army? Like they're just some like gun runners, right? Or drug smugglers.
I don't know. We never know. But
Yeah,
of course they start losing. They get into the cave where
because the American guy, he goes full Rambo.
Oh,
He
yes.
takes out this gigantic machine gun, which is
Mhm.
like a minigun with it looked like multiple barrels coming out the front, and he is just mowing people down. And halfway through, he and a couple of the Filipino soldiers stop for a beer. He is the all-American soldier
he is very American.
before going on to gun more people down.
At least he did something at the if he didn't
that
do
was
this,
pretty entertaining.
yeah, if he didn't do that, he would have literally just been a sleazy sex guy, like the
Yeah, yeah.
entire film.
He kind of becomes the Rambo character right towards the end.
Right at the
It-
end.
it is quite entertaining.
And we have Soji going through killing people ninja style, and he goes in the cave where random ninjas appear, and he just fights them, and that's
Out
it.
of
That is
nowhere.
it. There's nothing to it. He just starts fighting some
Where
ninjas.
did the ninjas come from? The ninjas are not high. We have no idea where these ninjas came from. For all we know, the drug runners have been using these caves. They're hiding in the caves, and there just happens to be a ninja training school there with 3 or 4 ninjas.
I
Like
do not know.
I think they were just a separate group. No one talks about them before or after it happens. He wanders through the cave and is attacked by 3 or 4 ninjas.
I honestly don't know. And from that point, then the that bad guy who got thrown out of the helicopter, he appears again. He has a giant axe.
They have a bit of a boss battle.
Bit
and
of a
that's-
boss.
that-
Pretty anticlimactic.
They free the hostages, and that. I thought that would have been it. Like they were going to go through the cave and capture them all.
Yeah.
But
No, Colonel Honey Hump and her troop.
and the guy in the
Make it
wheelchair,
out, and the guy in
they
the
just
wheelchair.
disappear.
Yeah, somehow the guy in the wheelchair in the forest manages to
At the
get
end
it
of
out.
this cave. Oh, I
How?
think there was meant to be a back area or whatever.
Right. So now we're at somebody's home. So it's Soji's
I think
kids
it's meant
playing
to be
around.
like a week later, and the ambassador's daughter.
That's
and
right.
There's this whole thing with the ambassador's daughter and Shoji's kids. They're all playing in the room together, and suddenly all the bad guys turn up in the backyard.
Yep. That's definitely the most disappointing bit in the movie for me because this is where I do not remember who, but one of them just throws a net over Honey, Hump, and her entire troop, and they just
Oh.
fall to the ground.
Have you forgotten?
I have.
Because it turns out the whole thing was Daphne's plan. She's been keeping the house under observation for weeks because she knew the bad guys would come. So she pops out and net guns them all.
Oh, she's the one with the net gun.
Pretty sure she's the one with
Yeah,
the net
she
gun.
does way more than
So
the American dude.
They have used Shoji has used the American as bait. He's used other people as bait, and now he's used his own kids as bait for these bad guys.
Yeah,
And they're just playing around like it's the funniest thing in the world.
he could have died.
Okay, I
These
will
guys
say-
have been shooting people.
This leads to one of my favorite scenes of the entire
But well,
movie.
everyone else is netted except for the general mad,
The guy in
guy.
the wheelchair, crazy Doctor
Crazy-
Strangelove,
well, Nazi. Oh yeah, he's
crazy Nazi
Dr.
Doctor
Strange.
Strangelove. He in his wheelchair is now quickly flying away through the backyard, somehow over the fence, and is going through
I-
some sort of back.
no.
path.
Actually, can I just say, if they had a scene where he jumped over the fence in a wheelchair, that would have been amazing. But he just goes through like a gap.
Yeah. So he's flying away in this
I
really
just
nice
had that image in
area.
my head. That would be amazing.
Shoji's chasing him down. He gets onto a big oval and he's flying away. And he's going, you won't catch me, crazy, lots of crazy shit. And at the same time, on the oval, they're playing polo.
Lacrosse, polo,
Is it polo?
They're on the
They're on
horses.
the horses and they're smacking the ball around.
rich people shit.
Now I can't remember why he flies off his wheelchair?
I do.
Oh, what happened?
He throws something and like he throws like a rope thing that catches the wheel.
Yeah, so Shoji knocks him off his wheelchair and then just stands back as the polo players from the other side of the field fly across, see him on the floor, and all manage to run over him.
They were blind polo players.
Apparently,
That's
all
why
the
they
horses-
didn't.
So
They didn't see him.
He's on the floor getting trampled to pieces by these horses,
It's not their
and the
fault.
polo players smacking him with their sticks.
Well, then no, they just
They
didn't
had-
see him.
They
didn't,
had no idea who he was. You know
they-
what it was?
They didn't see the
Polo is a
ninja.
very elitist sport.
Oh yeah.
And they see this badly get dressed guy on the field. They thought he was a poor person.
Oh,
And
yeah.
they wanted to run him over.
It's that or they're
That's-
blind.
That's the only reason they'd have to deliberately
They're just
trample this
they're
guy.
elitist douchebags. They're like cripples. No.
Not on my
not,
field.
Not on my field. No
And so-
sir.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it's a hilarious looking doll that gets torn to pieces by
Oh,
these
yeah.
horses. And yeah,
That's the
Shoji
movie.
goes back to his family, laughs about it, and eats a lollipop.
Oh
his
yeah,
thing-
because
his
he's
thing is
always eating a
lollipops.
lollipop, and he's called Lollipop,
That's his call sign.
which is dumb
lollipop.
because you should have called the American guy Lollipop
Why?
because he's the honey trap,
Nah,
right? He's always
Uh,
sucking on things.
I think-
He's the Lollipop,
nah.
not Soji. I felt like that was them trying
the-
so hard to put that character into Soji,
But
and
the
it's
bad
not.
guy getting trampled by the horses has to be probably the best thing out of the movie.
Yeah,
Or one of the best things.
Unfortunately, there's a lot of just in between stuff of just fights.
It was a very long movie, or it felt very long.
It's a very nothing. It's a movie again. Like this is what we'll say. Maybe it's a very weak recommendation to watch it if you want
I'd
to.
watch it. Like it
If
was,
you want to,
it was
watch
quite
it.
good, but it comes close to being just a bad comedy.
Yeah, I just felt it didn't quite. It's because you can tell a lot of I feel like a lot of the actors were just dead inside it or actually on drugs.
Yeah,
Like I know that it was one of the jokes was like, all my men are on drugs, and I'm like, yeah, no, I think this cast is actually on drugs. Like
Mm.
they are on drugs right
I mean,
now.
Shoji and his kids, they're fine. Some of the extras are alright, and the bad guys are brilliant. Like, I definitely watch it for the two bad guys, Colonel Honeyhump and Albus the
The
Indestructible or
yeah.
whatever. But yeah, everyone else is just a wooden plank.
But that is the 9 Deaths of the Ninja, where I think
Did
9
we actually
ninjas.
see 9 ninjas die?
I think we did
In
because I think we got
flashbacks.
like
The
4 or
ninjas
5.
have nothing to do with the film
I think there's like 5 in the flashback and then 4 in the
in the
cave,
caves.
something like that.
Yeah.
That is 9 Deaths of the Ninja. Thanks for listening. Rate, subscribe, whatever you do on podcasts, and that'd be great.